Today on the Transplant Helper, I'm going to share with you my 5 tips for living a healthy life after transplant.
Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to become part of the Transplant Helper community.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Transplant Helper again today. My name is Jim Burrell, and if you're brand new to the channel, let me tell you up front, I am a 2013 heart transplant recipient survivor, and I'm a person who has been there and is currently doing that. And I emphasize the word doing because it's not a been there, done that situation. This is not something I want to be a part of my past or your past. This is what I want to be a part of our present and our potential, in that we're continuing doing that. Okay, so all the experiences, all the things that I discussed with you today, in light of the fact that I want you to continue doing this life and stay a part of this life, that's at least my prayer and my motivation for you. Now, with that being said, I am going to be sharing with you today my 5 tips for living the best life after transplant, as far as a healthy life, a successful life, and a quality life. Okay, and it's going to come down to these things and probably many more, but we're only sharing 5 today just for the sake of time. So, number 1, jumping right in, it comes down to preparation. Okay, being prepared for something, anything in life, is going to put you a leg up on all of those things in life. Okay, so I think it's extremely important in the beginning, particularly as you're facing or awaiting transplant, that you do everything you can to educate yourself about your body, about your current situation, about your failures, and about your future. And that gets down to trying to get to know or prepared for what you are facing when it comes to transplant. Now, hopefully my videos can be a very small part of that. There are so many resources available today. We're certainly blessed, but you should be constantly become a student. Make it your career, make it your specialty and your job every day to learn more about this situation. Prepare yourself. And that comes down to preparing yourself mentally, as far as knowing what you're facing, emotionally, as far as how you're going to face it, and physically. Go ahead and make out a plan. You may be like I was pre-heart transplant. I could hardly get out of bed some days, but you can be thinking about it in the future, looking forward to the day when you're going to get up and walk that mile or run that marathon. I would never do that. I'm not interested in marathons, but make a plan in your mind and prepare yourself for that. See yourself in the positive health situation you're going to be in the future. See yourself living that life that I call the life of staying stronger. And that ER in there is important, because I want you to live the better life than you ever have in the past and live this life for the best of its potential. And preparation is going to be a big part of that. Again, knowing what to face, knowing what you are facing is going to be the best thing to do. Get prepared today for that. Number 2, I want you to consider medication. Okay. Now, it may be the case that pre-transplant, you're on one set of medications, maybe a ton of medications. Post-transplant, you're going to be on a different ton of medications, okay? These things that you see behind me right now, these are just some of the medications I'm currently on and or having been on in the past that are all a part of the organ transplant process. And it's really important after transplant, particularly, that when you are placed on a regimen of medications similar to these, that you always take those medications on time, every time, and in the right way. On time, because there will be a regimen. There will be a continuum to this. There may be medications you take in the morning. There may be medication you take in the evening. There may be medications you take every 3 hours, every 6, every 12, like the majority of mine. They're 12-hour increments apart. And you have to be sure that you take those medications on time, because many of those medications are very particular about their half-life, if you will, or about how consistently they stay in the body. And they have to be taken on a regularity in order for them to maintain the right blood levels to keep in your body the way they should, particularly those anti-rejection medications, which are going to be the saviors of your brand new organ to keep your body from attacking that organ and destroying it. Those medications will be very important to you, and take them on time is going to be huge in the scheme of things. Number 2, taking not only on time, but every time. It's not going to be like Tylenol or ibuprofen where you kind of take it when you need it or take it when you feel like it's good to take it. No, these medications will have to be taken consistently and constantly. And you got to be sure that you try your best not to ever miss a dose, whether that's to get a reminder from a family friend or a spouse or just anybody you know, whether it's the reminders on your smart devices. I'm not holding mine. That's not my phone, by the way, but on your apps or whatever, a calendar, just something visual you can see. I've got some pill boxes that if you look inside, they're labeled for morning, noon, midday, and evening. Just something to constantly be in your face reminding you that those medications are to be taken. So on time, every time, and then take them in the right way. Follow the instructions that are written on the bottle, that are prescribed, and the way that they're prescribed by your doctors through your pharmacy. Follow those things to a T. Make sure that if it advises you to take those medications with food, then do that. Without food, then do that. Morning, then do that. Evening, then do that. Just follow those instructions so that you take them on time, every time, and in the right way. And that's a huge thing, a huge step into living a healthy life. Next, not only preparation and medication, then you got to find some motivation. This will probably be involving some of the most trying times, difficult times of your entire life. You may face things in the future. If you're facing transplant now, you will. You may face things in the future that you've never had to deal with. And it's not right now is the moment, the time when you need to start looking within yourself and reaching deep down for that motivation and getting ready to fight. Get your mindset in a place right now where you say, no matter what I do face in the future, I'm going to face it with everything I have, and I'm going to stay motivated, because many times you're going to be the person, you right there, the person, or me right here, this person, that are going to have to come up with that fire, with that effort, with that just pounding away battle within you to stand up and stand out in this life. And you need to find some motivation for that. Today's the time to do that. Next, not only preparation, medication, motivation, but also demonstration. Okay, demonstration, that sounds a little funny, right? No. Like when I was in cardiac rehab shortly after transplant, when I got home from the hospital, I was put in 12 weeks of cardiac rehab, just kind of routine and typical for a heart transplant recipient. I went in there every day. I tried to, at least. I wasn't perfect, but I went in there every day trying to demonstrate to myself what I could do, trying to go a few steps farther on that treadmill or a few pedals farther on that bike, trying to lift a few more weights than I did the day before. Whatever they were involving me in that day in cardiac rehab, I wanted to demonstrate to myself that I could do better than the day before. And I'm not talking about setting a bar so high that you can't reach it. I'm talking about setting it right here above the top of your head so that you can reach it, but keep that bar raising and keep reaching for it and demonstrate what you can do. Because there'll be some days, honestly, when you'll be shocked by the failure that you had and what you couldn't do. There will be other days when you'll be shocked by the demonstration of the things that you can do, and stand back and have a moment of pride and comfort and be pleased with what you have done and demonstrate to yourself what is possible. That'll be big in this. Also, living a healthy life might involve these things, but it'll also and will need to involve at least some inspiration. Look to others around you, those who have, like I am, who've been there and are doing that. And when you go into clinic and you see someone across the way, just ask them, what type of transplant did you have? How long ago was that? How are you doing? What are some things that you do to make your life better? And look at people and allow them to inspire you, allow them to motivate you in that big way. And inspiration is going to be a big part. That's not what comes from within, but that's what you allow to take from without, and allow inspiration to come in. I can't name the number of people. I wouldn't even try to name the number of people that, since I've been involved in this work with this channel, people like you that I've sat down and had discussions with through this camera lens right here, strangely enough. Hey, you're still my friend. Or even face to face, where I've been inspired by their journey, inspired by watching what they've been able to accomplish. That's going to be so big in this. So if you want to live a healthy life post-transplant, preparation, medication, motivation, demonstration, inspiration, those are just a few of the things that I would like to advise you to get to doing right now, maybe even yesterday, but certainly be sure you're doing it tomorrow. Until next time, stay stronger, my friends.